We are living in a constantly changing world, full of challenges and endless worries. Each day passes, and there are moments when you feel tired, stressed, and sometimes wonder, how can I find peace within amidst these difficulties and relentless changes? Where can we seek peace? Is there a way to live fully, love, and be happy in this busy world? The Buddha taught that all change, growth, and peace in life begin from within ourselves. It does not come from external conditions, from others, or from favorable circumstances, but from our own hearts. Therefore, if you want to find peace and live fully, you need to turn inward, reflect on yourself, and how you face this life. Buddhism offers us practical methods to live better each day, to love ourselves, to let go of burdens in our hearts, and to fully embrace each moment. When we learn to love ourselves and accept our imperfections, when we know how to confront fear and anxiety without letting them control us, life becomes much lighter and more meaningful. Together, we will explore the teachings of the Buddha, from lessons on mindfulness and compassion to letting go and finding freedom within. We will learn how to live peacefully in every circumstance, no longer caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. Only when we live fully in the present can we truly feel the happiness and peace that we deserve. Let us learn and apply these principles in our daily lives. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can share valuable lessons together, helping us live more peacefully and fully each day. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Part 1, Living in the Present. Everything begins here according to Buddhist philosophy. Buddhism is a profound philosophical system that teaches us how to seek peace in a constantly changing and challenging world. One of the most important lessons from the teachings of the Buddha is about living in the present, the only place where we truly exist. Peace does not lie in what we possess or achieve, but in how we fully engage with each moment. The present is the only reality. According to Buddhist teachings, life is a series of moments that follow one another. The past is gone, the future has not yet arrived, and all we truly have is the present. However, the human mind often gets stuck in two extremes. The past, we are immersed in regrets, memories, or past pains. The future, we worry about what has not yet happened, imagining negative scenarios or having unrealistic expectations. When the mind is pulled toward the past or the future, we miss the true value of the present. The Buddha once said, "The past is no longer, the future has not yet come. Live in the present, for the present is where true life occurs." Why living in the present brings peace? Reducing anxiety and stress. When we focus on the present, the mind is no longer pulled into unnecessary worries. Anxiety often arises from speculating about things that have not happened or reminiscing about past failures. By living in the present, we only confront what is actually occurring, without adding or exaggerating. Fully enjoying simple pleasures. Small moments like savoring a hot cup of tea, listening to birds singing, or feeling a cool breeze can bring happiness if we fully immerse ourselves in them. Developing connection with ourselves and others. When we are fully present in the moment, we listen and feel more deeply, creating deeper and more meaningful relationships. Letting go to live in the present. One of the biggest barriers to living in the present is clinging to the past and the future. The Buddha taught that to live fully, we need to learn to let go. Letting go of the past. Past hurts, regrets, or failures often weigh us down. However, the past exists only in our minds. By releasing painful memories, we can free our minds to focus on the present. Letting go of the future. Expectations or worries about the future are also forms of clinging. The Buddha taught that instead of trying to control the future, we should focus on our actions in the present, as the present is the foundation for building the future. Letting go does not mean abandoning everything, but rather releasing attachment. When the mind is no longer bound, we feel freer and more at peace. Practicing living in the present according to Buddha's teachings. Mindfulness practice. Mindfulness is the awareness of each moment, clearly recognizing what is happening without judgment. For example, when eating, pay attention to the flavors, textures, and sensations while chewing. When walking, feel each step, your breath, and the contact of your feet with the ground. Focusing on your breath. The breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. When you feel stressed or distracted, return to your breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and pay attention to the sensations as the air enters and leaves your body. Limiting multitasking. The Buddha taught that doing everything mindfully brings effectiveness and peace. Instead of doing many things at once, focus entirely on each task. This helps reduce stress and enjoy the work process. Reminding yourself of impermanence. Everything in life is impermanent and subject to change. When we realize this, we appreciate each moment in the present instead of letting unnecessary worries dominate us. The benefits of living in the present. A calm mind. When no longer disturbed by the past and future, the mind becomes lighter and clearer. Improved health. Living in the present helps reduce stress and enhances mental and physical health. Building good relationships. When we are truly present in our relationships, we listen and understand more deeply, building trust and connection. Experiencing genuine happiness. Happiness does not come from what we possess, but from how we live and feel. Living in the present allows us to enjoy each moment fully. The present is a precious gift. Living in the present is not easy, especially in a world filled with worries and pressures. However, with practice and wisdom from Buddhist teachings, we can gradually free our minds from unnecessary burdens and find true peace. Remember that the present is the most precious gift we have. Do not let worries about the past or future rob you of the wonderful moments you are living. Start today, live fully in each moment, and feel the peace within your own heart. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Part 2. Compassion, the power of unconditional love according to Buddhist teachings. In Buddhist teachings, compassion, metta, is regarded as one of the noblest and most powerful qualities. Compassion is not just empathy or kindness, it is an infinite spiritual strength capable of transforming pain, dissolving anger, and bringing peace to both the giver and the receiver. The Buddha taught that compassion is at the core of the path to enlightenment and is the key to building a happy, meaningful life. 1. What is compassion? Definition of compassion in Buddhism. According to Buddhist teachings, compassion is unconditional love, without expectation of reciprocation. It arises from a deep understanding of the suffering of sentient beings and a desire to alleviate that suffering. O metta, this is love, goodwill, and the wish for everyone to be happy. O karuna, this is deep empathy for the suffering of others and the desire to lessen that suffering. Compassion knows no boundaries of age, gender, status, or relationship. It transcends all barriers and fosters a profound sense of connection among all beings. 2. The role of compassion in Buddhist teachings. Compassion is considered one of the main pillars of Buddhism, helping individuals overcome fear, anger, and find true happiness. Transforming anger. Anger is one of the three poisons of the mind, along with greed and ignorance. It burdens the soul, causing suffering and preventing peace. The Buddha taught that only compassion can dissolve anger, as we cannot extinguish fire with fire, but only with the cool water of love and empathy. For example, when faced with someone else's anger, instead of reacting with anger, look at them with compassion and recognize that they are also suffering. This attitude not only calms the conflict but also helps you maintain inner peace. Liberation from fear. Fear often stems from feelings of loneliness and disconnection from the world around us. When we live with compassion, we feel connected to all beings, which alleviates the sense of isolation and reduces fear. 3. Compassion in action. Starting with yourself. The Buddha taught that to love others, we must first love ourselves. Compassion for oneself does not mean indulging or excusing mistakes, but rather understanding and fully accepting oneself. For instance, when you make a mistake, instead of blaming yourself, recognize it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Extending to others. Once compassion is nurtured within, we can spread it to those around us. O family and friends, take time to listen, understand, and share joys and sorrows with loved ones. O strangers, a smile or small acts of kindness, like helping someone in need, are ways to express compassion. O those who challenge you, this is the greatest challenge but also an opportunity to practice compassion at its highest level. Practicing loving-kindness meditation, Metta-bhavana. Loving-kindness meditation is an effective method for nurturing and expanding compassion. While meditating, repeat phrases such as, "Oh, may I be peaceful and happy. Oh, may those around me be peaceful and happy. Oh, may all sentient beings be peaceful and happy." Repeating these phrases not only calms the mind but also helps you feel connection and love for others. 4. The benefits of compassion. Alleviating the pain of others. Compassion is the light in the darkness of suffering. When you show compassion to someone, you not only help them feel loved and understood but also create opportunities for their healing from within. Healing yourself. The Buddha taught that when we give love, we also receive peace in our hearts. Compassion helps free the mind from negative emotions, bringing joy and tranquility. Bringing true happiness. Happiness does not come from material possessions but from how we live and love. When you live with compassion, you will feel your soul filled with joy and contentment, independent of external circumstances. 5. Challenges in practicing compassion. Facing negativity. Practicing compassion is not always easy, especially when confronted with negative or difficult people. However, these challenges are opportunities to cultivate your compassionate heart. Balancing giving and receiving. Compassion does not mean sacrificing yourself to the point of exhaustion. The Buddha taught that we need to love ourselves before we can fully love others. The path to true happiness. Compassion is an infinite power, the path to true happiness and peace. When you live with compassion, you not only soothe the pain of others but also heal yourself. The Buddha once said, "Shine like a lamp, spreading the light of compassion wherever you go." Start practicing compassion today, beginning with the smallest actions. You will find that when you give love, you receive even more goodness than you ever expected. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Part 3. Acting with a good heart, sowing good seeds for reaping peace according to Buddhist teachings. In Buddhist teachings, acting with a good heart is not only a path to creating a happy life but also a way to build a better world. Every action we take, no matter how small, carries a profound meaning. As the Buddha taught, you reap what you sow. When we act with a good heart, not only does our own life improve, but we also spread positive energy to everyone around us. What is a good heart? Definition of a good heart in Buddhism. A good heart, kusala citta, in Buddhist teachings refers to thoughts, words, and actions that arise from compassion, kindness, and the desire to bring good to others without expecting personal gain. A good heart is not merely about doing good, but also about doing so with sincerity and without discrimination. Goodness in thought, keeping the mind free from greed, hatred, and delusion. Goodness in speech, speaking truthfully, kindly, and encouraging others to do good. Goodness in action, helping others, refraining from harmful actions, and practicing generosity. The good heart and the law of cause and effect. Buddhism teaches that everything in the universe operates according to the law of cause and effect. What we think, say, and do today will create results in the future. A good heart sows good seeds, leading to peaceful outcomes, while a harmful heart leads to suffering. For example, someone who helps others sincerely will receive love and support in times of difficulty. Conversely, harmful actions will bring negative consequences in the future. Acting from a good heart in daily life. Helping others. A good action is helping others within our means. This doesn't have to be grand gestures, but can be small acts such as assisting an elderly person across the street, donating to those in need, Sharing encouraging words with a sad friend. These actions not only bring joy to the recipient but also help you feel happier and more meaningful. Practicing generosity, dana. Generosity is one of the first virtues encouraged in Buddhism. It is not limited to giving material goods, but also sharing time, knowledge, and care. Generosity helps free the mind from attachment and cultivate compassion. The Buddha once said, "No act of giving is too small, for even a sincere smile can bring happiness." Living honestly and with integrity. Good actions cannot lack honesty and integrity in everything we do. This includes not deceiving others, following through on commitments, treating everyone with fairness and respect. When we live honestly, we not only create trust from others but also feel lighter and more at peace within ourselves. Acting kindly towards the environment. A good heart extends beyond humans to the environment and all living beings. By protecting nature, conserving resources, and minimizing negative impacts on the environment, we are sowing good seeds not only for the present but also for future generations. Sowing good seeds to reap peace. Understanding cause and effect. According to the law of cause and effect, each action is a cause, and each cause will bring a corresponding effect. When we act from a good heart, the results will undoubtedly be good things. This may not always manifest immediately but could come at a later time in this life or the next. For example, a kind person who helps others may find many opportunities in work and receive support from people. Good seeds, peaceful outcomes. Sowing seeds of love, reaping connection and happiness. Sowing seeds of honesty, reaping trust and security. Sowing seeds of assistance, reaping support and appreciation. The joy of giving. The Buddha taught that true joy comes not from what we receive, but from what we give. When acting with a good heart, you will feel happiness not only from the results but also from the process of doing so. Positive impact on the mind. Easing negative emotions such as anger and jealousy. Nurturing compassion and gratitude. Feeling meaningful in life. When acting from a good heart, we feel that we are living a valuable life, not just for ourselves but for those around us. Challenges in practicing good actions. Ego and selfishness. A large ego can make us hesitant to help others. The Buddha taught that to act from a good heart, we need to overcome selfishness and recognize that all beings are interconnected. Good actions not always rewarded. Sometimes, good actions may go unrecognized or even misunderstood. However, the Buddha taught that we should not let this shake our resolve, for good actions inherently carry value and bring peace to the soul. The path to peace and happiness. Acting from a good heart not only brings joy and peace in the present but also sows good seeds for the future. The Buddha taught that every day we have the opportunity to sow good seeds, regardless of whether the actions are big or small. What matters is the sincerity behind them. Let us start with the smallest deeds, such as a kind word, a loving gesture, or a helpful action. Sowing good seeds not only makes your life more meaningful but also contributes to building a better and harmonious world. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Part 4, Freedom from Within, Breaking Through the Barriers of Fear according to Buddhist Teachings. Fear is a common emotion that everyone experiences. Whether it is fear of the future, loss, or facing oneself, it can dominate our minds and lives. However, the Buddha taught that fear is not an insurmountable force. When we understand its nature and confront it mindfully, fear will no longer control us. True freedom does not come from avoiding what frightens us, but from liberating our minds from the constraints of invisible fears. Fear in life and Buddhist perspective. The nature of fear. According to Buddhist teachings, fear does not arise naturally but is the result of a mind dominated by ignorance, avidya. Ignorance prevents us from understanding the impermanent, anicca, and non-self, anatta, nature of all things. When we cling to the idea that everything will last forever or belongs to us, feelings of loss and insecurity begin to appear. Fear is not an enemy but a psychological phenomenon that needs to be observed and understood. The Buddha once said, "Fear is merely the shadow of the mind, and shadows disappear when the light of wisdom appears." Main causes of fear. Attachment. We fear losing what we love or fear not achieving what we desire. Ignorance. Not understanding reality causes the mind to create negative scenarios, leading to anxiety. Feelings of isolation. When we do not feel connected to the world around us, fears of isolation and rejection will arise. Freedom from within, what the Buddha taught. The Buddha affirmed that true freedom does not lie in controlling external circumstances but in mastering our own minds. This freedom is built on wisdom and mindfulness, helping us overcome the limits imposed by fear. Understanding impermanence. One of the most important teachings of the Buddha is impermanence. Everything in life changes: joy, sorrow, success, failure. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, our fears of loss will diminish. For example, if you fear losing a relationship, remember that this relationship is also part of the flow of impermanence. Instead of clinging, cherish and enjoy the present moment. Letting go of attachment to free the mind. Attachment is the root of fear. When we learn to let go, our minds become free and tranquil. Letting go does not mean abandoning everything, but rather relinquishing clinging. For instance, instead of worrying about the outcome of a task, focus on the process. When you are not bound by expectations, you will feel lighter and act with confidence. Breaking through all barriers of fear. Confronting fear. Buddhism teaches that to overcome fear, we must face it directly. Avoiding fear only makes it grow in our minds. When you observe your fear without judgment, you will realize that it is not as frightening as you think. For example, if you fear failure, ask yourself, what does failure truly mean? Is it the end, or is it a lesson for my growth? Practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is an essential method for overcoming fear. When we live mindfully, we focus on the present and do not allow our minds to be swept away by worries about the future. Start by focusing on your breath. Inhale, recognizing that you are inhaling. Exhale, recognizing that you are exhaling. This attention helps the mind become peaceful and undistracted by negative thoughts. Cultivating compassion. Compassion is not only for others but also for oneself. When you treat yourself with love and understanding, you will reduce pressure and fear. For example, if you make a mistake, instead of blaming yourself, remember that mistakes are a natural part of life. Benefits of liberating the mind from fear. Peaceful mind. When fear no longer dominates, the mind becomes lighter and clearer. You will be able to make sound decisions without being influenced by negative emotions. A free and fulfilled life. Freedom from within allows you to live freely, unburdened by unnecessary worries. You can enjoy every moment and pursue what is truly meaningful. Deep connections with others. Without fear, you will find it easier to open up and build deep, sincere relationships. Practicing to achieve freedom from within. Meditation. Spend time each day meditating to observe your mind and recognize the barriers that fear creates. Mindfulness. Focus on the present and practice awareness in all daily activities. Learn to let go. Start with small things, like relinquishing expectations of others or outcomes. Remind yourself of impermanence. Regularly remind yourself that everything changes, and this is entirely natural. Freedom from within is the destination of every journey. Fear is an inseparable part of life, but it does not have to control us. The Buddha taught that when we understand the nature of fear and liberate our minds from its constraints, we will achieve true freedom. Start with small steps, such as observing your fears, practicing mindfulness, and letting go of attachments. Gradually, you will see that freedom is not something distant but lies within your own heart. Part 5. Recognizing Impermanence, Embracing Change for a Peaceful Life according to Buddhist Teachings. In Buddhist teachings, impermanence, anicca, is one of the three fundamental characteristics of reality, alongside suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. Understanding impermanence is key to living peacefully, freely, and letting go of unnecessary attachments. The Buddha taught that everything in the universe is in a constant state of change, from our emotions and life circumstances to our very selves. Accepting this truth helps us reduce anxiety and regret, allowing us to find true peace in the present. 1. What is impermanence? Definition of impermanence in Buddhism. Impermanence refers to the continuous change of all things and phenomena. From microscopic levels like cells in our bodies to the macroscopic operations of the universe, everything follows the cycle of birth, existence, change, and cessation. The Buddha taught, everything that has a beginning has an end. This is the natural condition of all things. Nothing in life lasts forever. This truth applies to everything, possessions, relationships, emotions, and even our lives. Impermanence and suffering. We often experience suffering when we try to cling to things we wish to hold on to, even though we know they will change. The refusal to accept impermanence is the source of much anxiety, sadness, and unease. For example, when a relationship ends, we often sink into sorrow because we do not accept that everything has a time to begin and a time to end. 2. Why understanding impermanence brings peace. Accepting reality instead of resisting. When we realize that change is inevitable, we no longer try to control what cannot be controlled. Instead of resisting, we learn to accept and adapt, leading to a lighter and more tranquil mind. For example, rather than regretting a missed opportunity, we can focus on the good things the present offers. Letting go of attachment. Attachment is the main cause of suffering. When we recognize that everything changes, we understand that attachment cannot bring lasting happiness. Letting go does not mean abandoning everything, rather, it means relinquishing our grasp on things beyond our control. For example, a wealthy person doesn't need to give up their possessions, but if they do not cling to them, they will not feel pain when losing some of them. 3. Practicing acceptance of impermanence in daily life. Living in the present. Understanding impermanence helps us focus on the present, the only moment that truly exists. When we live fully in the present, we no longer worry about the future or regret the past. For example, when eating a meal, savor each bite instead of letting your mind drift elsewhere. Practicing mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is an effective method for recognizing impermanence. While meditating, you will notice each breath coming and going, and each sensation in the body appearing and disappearing. These observations help you understand that nothing is everlasting, including negative emotions. Observing nature. Nature is the clearest evidence of impermanence. Spend time observing the changes in nature, from flowers blooming to wilting, from sunny days to rainy ones. This awareness will help you perceive impermanence more easily and profoundly. 4. Benefits of accepting impermanence. Reducing anxiety and fear. When we understand that everything changes, we no longer fear loss or upheaval. Instead of worrying, we learn to adapt and face changes with calmness. Appreciating the present. Understanding impermanence helps us value what we have, knowing that it will not last forever. For example, rather than taking the presence of loved ones for granted, you will spend more time with them, listening and caring. A free mind. When we are no longer bound by worries or regrets, our minds become freer and more serene. You will feel lightness in every thought and action. 5. Impermanence and true happiness. The Buddha taught that happiness does not come from holding on to or controlling, but from understanding and accepting the nature of life. When you embrace impermanence, you will find happiness in each moment, rather than seeking it in distant things. True happiness does not depend on circumstances but comes from inner peace, the kind that understanding impermanence can provide. 6. Challenges in accepting impermanence. Difficulty letting go. Humans often cling to the familiar, even when they know it is not sustainable. To let go, we need to train our minds through meditation and mindfulness. Facing loss. When we lose a loved one or something important, accepting impermanence can be very difficult. However, it is precisely in these moments that understanding impermanence helps us overcome suffering and regain peace. Living peacefully through understanding impermanence. Impermanence is not something to fear but a valuable lesson that helps us cherish the present, let go of unnecessary burdens, and lead a more meaningful life. The Buddha taught that when we fully understand and accept impermanence, our minds will become free, and happiness will naturally arise. Remember that change is a natural part of life. Instead of resisting it, learn to flow with it, and you will find peace in every moment. Namo Buddha Shakyamuni. Conclusion: live fully, love unceasingly. Life is a brief journey, but our awareness and the way we live will determine the value of that journey. To live fully in love unceasingly, the first step is to turn inward, understand yourself, and from there, spread love to those around you. The Buddha taught that true happiness does not lie in what you possess, but in how you live, love, and accept. Living fully does not mean achieving everything in life but rather enjoying and being present in each moment. It is about listening to yourself, understanding your emotions, and not allowing worries about the past or future to dominate. When we live with mindfulness, even the smallest things in life become meaningful: a smile, a warm meal, or a peaceful morning. Love is the strongest bond between human beings. However, this love should not be limited to familiar faces but should also extend to all beings. The Buddha taught that compassion is the path to true happiness. When you love without discrimination and without conditions, you will feel your heart lighten, become serene, and overflow with joy. Acting from a good heart means sowing the seeds of goodness in life. Small actions that stem from sincerity, like helping others, speaking kindly, or even just offering an encouraging smile, can create positive changes. Every day, ask yourself, what can I do today to bring joy and peace to others? Peace is not about avoiding all difficulties but about the ability to face them with ease and mindfulness. The Buddha taught that when we understand the nature of impermanence, let go of attachment, and live with compassion, our souls will become free and serene. Peace is the greatest gift you can give yourself. You can start living fully and loving from today by practicing simple yet profound teachings from the Buddha. Reflect on how you live, open your heart to those around you, and take time to appreciate the small joys in life. If you found this video helpful, please like it, share it with your loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe to continue joining us on the journey of exploring profound lessons from Buddhism. Love and peace will spread as we learn and practice together. Thank you for watching. Namo Buddha Shakyamuni.